good evening, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant evening, and I came across this story just recently. It's part, I guess it came up because of the Ghislaine Maxwell case and the fact that she was found guilty on 5 of 6 charges of trafficking underage women for the purposes of sexual gratification for other people. And so this is Virginia Giuffre, and she is suing Prince Andrew for raping her. And of course this is one of the girls that was photographed with Prince Andrew, which is a pretty damning kind of photograph in and of itself. But the most telling thing here, and I think the biggest admission of guilt, is that they are trying to weasel out of this case by a deal that Virginia Giuffre made with Jeffrey Epstein back in 2009, where she said that for $500,000 that she would not name or identify any other person who could possibly be a defendant in a case against Jeffrey Epstein. And of course, Prince Andrew falls into that category, being royalty. But if he's truly innocent, surely you wouldn't need to weasel your way out of this with a sleazy little trick by trying to say that well, you can't sue me because you had a deal. Well, I think that when you do shit like that, you know what? That's proof of your guilt. If you were innocent, you would stand there and take it on the chin and go to court and prove your innocence beyond a reasonable doubt. And because they obviously cannot do that, and as I say, this photograph, it's all over the internet. So I think we know what has just taken place here. And again, it is another confirmation that these people are basically laughing in your face. They're flaunting justice. You and I would not get to do this stuff, but because he's a royal, he gets to rape underage girls and get away with it. Just like his brother, Prince Charles, hung around with he hung around with Jeffrey Epstein too, but Jimmy Savile. Now, Jimmy Savile was a necrophiliac pedophile, and he was a procurer for people at the highest levels of government and the royal family. And as I mentioned in an earlier video, Prince Charles wanted Jimmy Savile to be the godfather of his children. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And he thought that Jimmy Savile was just a great guy. Anyway, I think this is absolute proof of guilt. I know it is anecdotal, but I think that we have all seen these kind of situations unfold before, where someone who we know is pretty well guilty of the whole affair is weaseling out using some little loophole to evade responsibility. Anyway, here is the article. I'm just going to read that, and I'll come back and do a quick wrap up. Okie dokie, here we go. This from RT. Jeffrey Epstein cuts secret deal with Prince Andrew's rape accuser. The deceased pedophile agreed to pay Virginia Giuffre $500,000 as part of a confidential 2009 settlement, which was unsealed on Monday. Jeffrey Epstein paid Virginia Giuffre $500,000 in a 2009 legal settlement in which she agreed not to sue anyone linked to the convicted sex offender that could be a potential defendant, a newly unsealed court document shows. The settlement was made public by a New York court on Monday as part of Giuffre's ongoing civil suit against Prince Andrew. She's seeking unspecified damages, alleging that the British royal sexually assaulted her when she was a teenager. She claims to have been forced into sex with him by Epstein and his accomplice, the now convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. Her lawsuit now faces a crucial challenge on Tuesday, when Prince Andrew's lawyers will seek to have the case dismissed on the basis of the settlement. Prince Andrew, who has denied Guthrie's accusations, had filed a document as part of his legal brief in October contending that its broad release provisions prevented future legal disputes against him and other alleged Epstein associates. In the filing, his attorneys noted that because of Prince Andrew's status as a senior British royal, he falls into one of the expressly identified categories of persons who were released from liability as a third-party beneficiary under the 2009 agreement. Although Prince Andrew is not mentioned by name, the settlement apparently covers expressly identified categories of persons including royalty, as well as politicians, academics, businessmen, and other allegedly associated with Epstein. The 2009 deal, which has been confidential till now, states that Guthrie, who is also referred to by her maiden name Roberts, agreed to release, acquit, satisfy, and forever discharge Epstein and any other person or entity who could have been included as a potential defendant from legal action for claims dating from the beginning of the world. Oh, that's a long time ago. However, her lawyers say the terms of the agreement pertain only to Florida, where Guthrie alleged she was sexually abused by Epstein, and were thus irrelevant to her action against Prince Andrew, which covers alleged sexual abuse by the royal in New York, London, and the US Virgin Islands. In their court filings, her legal team said that Epstein's deal is outside the four corners of the case against Prince Andrew. The document's unsealing had been ordered on December 29th. Nice little Christmas present for you, Prince Andrew. Huh? You big pervert. So I think we can clearly see that Prince Andrew is trying to pull the wool over the eyes of the general public, and that he is as guilty as sin. And this is going on all the time. These people get away with blue murder. And whether it is not having to obey all of the other mandates to do with the outbreak in CV that we have been suffering under, or whether it is raping underage girls, children, whatever it is. These people seem to get away with stuff, and I am so glad. Dare I squeeze this in here? See, this is the Aquarius effect. This is coming out in the open, and you are going to be judged. This is Prince Andrew I'm talking about here. You are going to be judged truly by the public in the court of public opinion, because you know what, you may think you're slick and your lawyers may think you're slick, but it's pretty transparent to the average person what has taken place here. And I just feel sorry for Virginia Guthrie, or Roberts, whichever she prefers, and I hope that she drags your name through the mud for what you have done, you and your family. And the privilege, you talk about white privilege, you're looking at it right there. Okay, there's my rant. I have long questioned the veracity and the validity of the royal family, and now that we know some of the things that they've been getting up to behind closed doors, yes, I think it has become even more questionable as to why we even have them as tokens of what? Morality? It's like the Pope. Hey, what are you talking about here? This is a guy who is holding up the highest echelons of morality, probably the largest single group of organized pedophilia on the planet. On the planet. I mean, it staggers the mind. Thank God for the internet. Thank God this stuff is coming out. Thank God this stuff is coming out, because until we cough up this bone, we cannot get over the kind of corruption that society and humanity has been subjected to over the last 2,000 years, but more particularly in the last 2 centuries. And it's coming to light. It's coming to an end, and thank goodness for that. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant evening, and we'll talk very, very shortly. You take care now. See ya. Bye.